day job to have a successful business. When I was launching Go Grab Lunch in 2010, it was a business to business networking site that connected like minded professionals over coffee or lunch. You could think of it as business dating. Some of the advice I got from investors when I was doing that was that I needed to quit my day job. And at that time, I was in my, I was in my late 30s, early 40s, and my career was starting to really grow. I had just passed six figures. I was making a really good income. I had a wife. I had a young child. Still have both of those, but one's not so young anymore. I had all the responsibilities of a normal thing, and I had a very nice day job that I didn't hate and that was progressing really, really well. Unfortunately, investors told me that to be able to make Go Grab Lunch successful, I was going to have to quit. I was prepared to do that eventually, but only after it had shown certain growth metrics that were going to make it more viable. And my concern was if I just quit too early, it was basically signing up for bankruptcy. Well, you don't have to quit your day job to have a successful business. If you're going through the 30-day founder blueprint, we're on the next to the last lesson. And the whole thing I want you to understand is you can grow the business on the side until it reaches an inflection point where it's safer to go full time. Now, I'm never going to tell you it's completely safe. No new startup is completely safe, but you can get it to a point where it's safer with a good schedule and some discipline. And we're going to talk about a time box that worked for me early on. As a reminder, I went from that day job to as a chief lending officer at a financial institution, and now I'm a senior director at a publicly traded fintech. That was a good bet for me. Had the business, the startup, Go Grab Lunch, shown enough opportunity, I would have left and taken that chance, but it just didn't work out. Still, to this day, I run businesses, side businesses at night. It's the whole idea of a 5 to 9 after your 9 to 5. Don't just treat those 5 to 9 hours as leftovers. Think of them as a strategic shift. So you have to change how your mind thinks. So what most people do is they say, you know what? I'm going to work on that thing tonight, but they don't have a plan. And then tonight shows up, and the next thing you know, it's Netflix and doom scrolling and gaming, which I love to do. But I, on most days, try not to do that until I've accomplished the work that I want to accomplish. The fix is we have to reframe this 5 to 9 into a time where it's not really free time anymore. It's a scheduled executive block is how I want you to think of it. It's a way to structure this so that you're not just a dreamer and talking about what you're doing. You're an actual founder. You know, there is a big difference between people who claim to be entrepreneurs and really aren't. They're just talking a good game. You need to shift your 5 to 9 to free time and shift it to an executive block. Now, another thing I want to tell you, this is not me telling you it's okay to grind away from 5 to 9 every single night and not spend time with your family. We're going to see that I am telling you to block off time for people that matter to you in your life and other things that matter in your life, like your health, in your schedule. But we are still going to shift to thinking of this as executive block, executive time. Okay. The thing to understand is you can't do marketing and legal and product and all that stuff in 4 hours at night. You just can't do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to define one 90-day income. Well, that's the whole idea, is to make income. But we're going to define one 90-day outcome, something that you really want to accomplish. Well, as part of the 30-day founder blueprint, what you really should have accomplished, if you've been spending the time on this, shame on you if you haven't. If you've been putting in the time to do this, the outcome should be you should have ideated, validated your idea, looked at how fundraising could apply to you. It may not apply to everybody, and then really dialed in some go-to-market strategies and put an MVP out into the market. That's the goal that we've been shooting for this whole time. That's the North Star. That's what you want to do. Okay, so let's talk about the 5 to 9 breakdown, the time. Okay, and I want you to put this on your calendar. If it's not on your calendar, it doesn't happen. Right? So I'm going to give you a little time to reset. So depending on when you get off, your times of these could change, but here's what I'd like you to think about. I want you to take 5:30 to 6:30. So if you're working 9 to 5, take a 30-minute buffer. 5:30 to 6:30, I want you to have that as your reset time. I want you to have that as your transition time. I want you to eat, spend some time with family, maybe at dinner, go to the gym, do those types of things. Why are we allowing an hour of our 4 hours a night to be taken up with transition time? because it'll clear the brain fog from your day job and allow you to reset so that you're more efficient when you sit down for the other 3 hours. Okay, that's really, really important. 6:30 to 7, we're going to do our warm-up. We're going to do low energy tasks. We're going to do things like admin and emails and organizing. We're just going to kind of clear the deck. Same idea. It's a little bit of a transition, but it's starting to work. You might be responding to prospects. You might be responding to clients. You might be responding to investors that are interested in what you're doing. Those types of things. People building your application. And we're really going to dive into the deep work from 7 to 8:30. So an hour and a half of just hard 90 minutes, phone away, TV away, maybe some soft music at best. This is where you build your business. Believe it or not, you can build a business in 90 minutes at night. You can do that. You can do that if they're focused. 90 minutes of hard, deep work is way better than 8 hours of distracted work. That is exactly how I built my side businesses. Was extremely focused time at night. I hammered out my business. I was organized. I was efficient. I was effective. I hammered out the work that I needed to do. If I wasn't working on stuff for clients, I was marketing the business, all those different things. I hammered it out, and then still left me time at night for me to do things I wanted to. I'd spent time with family. Then I did my work, and then I got to have a little time to myself and do some video gaming, which I'm going to do here in a little bit. At 8:30 to 9, we're going to do a shutdown. You're going to review your progress and see everything you've accomplished. And then, this is key, I want you to plan what you're going to do tomorrow night. Now, if you're on a different schedule, just flip it around. If you have a late job, flip it around and make this in your mornings, those types of things. Okay. Now, we're going to have some guardrails. Okay. We're going to use a no script. Okay. If you are invited to do something, then you just need that you shouldn't do, right? That's a distraction. You need to say, I'm booked until this date, until I get this project done. Okay. It's not rude. It's executive behavior. I used to do this in an auto reply on my email. If I was on a 90-day push for a focus in my email, it would say, thank you for your email. I'm on a 90-day focus for this type of project. I'll get back to you after I'm done with that. If this requires a more immediate response, please email me again. And then if it were people wasting my time, I would ignore them. But if it was someone that mattered to me, then I answered. Okay, this is really, really, really important for you to do. So no is very important. The no script isn't just about declining social invites. Okay, you need to have some of that time to recharge. It's really just about setting boundaries. We need to say no to all kinds of things. We need to say no to meetings with prospects that aren't qualified. Okay, those types of things. So this is not about finding more time. We all have the same time. You've heard that over and over. It's not about finding more time. It's about a better intention with the time that you have. Okay. What is your North Star goal for the next 90 days? Your North Star goal, I'm assuming, since you went through the 30-day founder blueprint, is that you're going to have taken a business from idea to in the market. That's what I want from you. That's what you need to accomplish, but you're only going to do it if you stay focused, you don't get distracted, and you really work through things. All right? Good luck to you. Thanks for sticking with me. Have a good night.